Hi there. Sooner or later you're going to be out riding, you're going to get yourself a flat. And I'm going to show you what you need to do to change that while you're out on the road. So in this case our front tire is flat, and the first thing we want to do is go ahead and loosen up our brake calipers. You can see there's a lot of them are different, but this one you just push it down here and you see that these brake pads are going to move away and give you a little bit of room to get your wheel out. And then you want to just go ahead and loosen up your axle. Get it loose. Like that, and your tire should come. Once you get it loose enough, it will come right off. So there's that. Now before we move on, I want to show you what you should be carrying in your saddlebag. You can see all of this stuff fits into a pretty small bag. You'll need an extra tube. That's pretty much a must. You need a tire lever. One is good. Sometimes people carry two. And then you need a way to pump up your new tire once you replace your tube. You can use a small pump that you carry on your bike, a rim pump, or you can use CO2 cartridges. I carry two, and then this little thing here is a filler that attaches to the stem so you can pump it up. And finally, I carry some spare patches just in case. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take the tube out of the tire. First thing you want to do is just inspect it a little bit and see if you can see what caused your flat. Sometimes you'll see a thorn or a piece of glass, whatever. If you can see it, go ahead and remove it, and then you'll know that's what caused it. And now we're going to get ready to go ahead and remove this bad tube. So you're going to use your tire lever. You see it's got a little kind of scoop there. You want to scoop it underneath your tire, just a little edge here, and you're going to pull it up over the rim, hold it, and you're going to free some of it. You really only need to do that much. The rest of it's going to come really easy, either with your hands or you can just run the tire lever there. If that gets difficult, you can use two. You can use one to hold it, and then you can use the other one to kind of free it out there. So now you can see your tire is kind of off of one rim. Sometimes these stick a little bit inside your rim, so you could go ahead and free it so that it's all nice and loose. It'll be easy to get things fixed. All right, so we're going to then take out the tube, so you just find where the stem is, peel your tire back, and go ahead and take your tube out. You want to feel it through the inside of the tire. On the flat part, on the side part, make sure there's nothing in there that's poking through, right? Nothing in there that's going to give you another flat. So essentially you want to find out what caused your flat if you can. So if there's anything in there, get it out of there. So you just kind of run your fingers all through inside, you can feel it. After that, we're ready to go ahead and put the tube back in. I usually put a tiny bit of air in there just to make it easy. Not much. You don't need much. You don't need any at all, really. But and then you just kind of do the reverse, right? We're going to find out where that hole is for the stem. It's right there. We're going to put the tube back in, and then we're just going to slowly feed it inside the tire and let it sit loosely along the rim in here. And so you just kind of work your way around, nice and easy. You just want it to sit there on top of the rim so we can get the tire back on. There. So once it's kind of sitting in there, now we want to go ahead and get the tire back on. And that's just a matter of just using your hands, start working your way, and you just start pushing it back onto the rim. It'll go really easy. So you just use your hands. Make sure your tube is kind of sitting back in there. If you need to let some of the air out, go ahead. But you want to work your tire in there. So it's going to go really nice and easy for a while. And then you'll see that you'll be stuck with a little bit that needs to go back onto the rim there. And I'm wearing my gloves because your gloves kind of makes it a little bit easier, because this can get a little tough at times. But you just want to hold it toward you, and you just want to start rolling the tube. Just kind of forcing it onto the rim, little by little. It'll happen. You don't really need to be too gentle here. And you see now that the tire's back onto the rim. Now, before you pump anything up though, there's one kind of important step here. You want to make sure that no part of the tube is showing, so none of it got stuck underneath. So if you look over here, you start just pushing this tire back, and you want to look inside there, and you see that you don't see any of the tube. And so you want to check that on both sides. So what I usually do is you start where the stem is, and you do one side, and you just kind of work your way around. Just make sure the tube is not sticking out. If it is, tuck it underneath so that it's nothing sticking out there. Really important, because what will happen is you'll inflate the tube and it'll just get a flat right there. It's called a pinch flat. So you go all the way around, check it. You know you're done when you hit the other. See right there. You see how that tube is sticking out? That's what we want to avoid. So I'm going to use my tire lever. Gently push it in there. Really, I'm going to try to use my fingers if I can. There we go. Oops. So that's why you do that. Then you turn it around and you do the same thing on the other side. I know you'll want to just get back on your bike at this point, but it's worth the couple minutes to just check that out. All right, now we're ready to pump the tire up. And if you have Presta valves, you make sure you open that up. I'm going to use a regular floor pump here because I don't want to waste a cartridge. We'll go ahead and pump this tire up. Now, one thing that could happen here is you might hear this tire pop as it's seating inside of the rim, and that's perfectly normal. It doesn't happen all the time. There you go. You heard that. That's one of the pops. It usually happens once you start getting a good bit of pressure in there. All right, that's as much as I'm going to put in there. All right, now our tire's ready. It's pumped up. You're almost ready to go. The last thing you want to do is you just want to look at it, look all around the rim here, and make sure it's all sitting in there nicely. Nothing's popping out or you don't see any bubbles. So it's just a quick glance, both sides of your tires. Now we're ready to go. Putting the tire on, just the opposite of taking it off. I'm going to go ahead and feed it in. Now, it's really important you do this while the tire's on the ground, and you don't want to try to do this with the bike in the air. So you want to get that in there. And the reason for that is so it sits nice and tight in there. So there it is. We're going to tighten things up. You want this to be tight, but not super tight, but nice and snug. Then we're going to go ahead and adjust the brake back down. And then we're going to give it a spin. You want it to be, go ahead nice and easy. And you want to take a look at it at the calipers and make sure it's not wobbling. Otherwise, you didn't get it set properly. You ready to get back on your bike and keep going? So hope that helped. Ride on.